I'm good to go. Punch and Julie, not so sure.
Discount Christian Slater. Oh, that is Christian Slater. Fine. Discount Will Smith.
She asked me if her dress made her look fat. She's gotten cranky since she lost weight.
Cranky? After a comment like that, I'd be grateful that Waller hadn't immediately detonated my head and replaced me with Deathstroke, Red Hood, Huntress, or, literally anyone with decent aim. Okay, team, we've got Deadshot referencing that Waller has lost weight. We've got her heading into an MRI machine. We've got her in the doctor's office looking angry and sad. I don't know. I just don't think we're making it clear enough. Perfect.
We're just having our second honeymoon. Anywhere we can.
Not on my time, convict.
Waller's voice can be heard before the TV even powers on.
The only one who gets satisfied tonight is me.
Why is Waller in near darkness for this video? I get that the big bads usually want to hide their identities, but doesn't everyone here already know who she is and what she looks like? In fact, I'm impressed they managed to keep her face unilluminated. If this is a video call, shouldn't her face be lit up by the screen on her end?
Your target is an underboss in the Black Mask Mob. Tobias Whale.
Why is this briefing happening when the squad is mere minutes away from their target, as opposed to back at Waller's office, where they can be briefed in full, ask questions, go over... No? Just run in and shoot? Alrighty then.
Tonight, he's delivering a flash drive full of nastiness.
Straight out of the Too Hot for Pornhub series. I find it totally insane that when Waller sets up these bad guy teams, she allows the villains to wear these unsightly costumes, especially this one with the jester hat and the dangling shit coming off his vest. This is a fucking safety hazard. One I'm sure Edna Mode has a whole rant about if you ever dare to ask. This asshole henchman is chewing gum, reading a magazine, and has headphones on. I mean, they don't even let you do that shit when you work at Best Buy. But a criminal organization hires thugs and lets this shit happen. As it turns out, it doesn't really matter because Deadshot kills the other, more alert guy at the same time. I'm going to further question Waller's decision to hire a married couple who PDA their way through a mission. This guard here in the foreground is just biding his time until he gets a promotion to stripper view guard. I know Julie comes out of this fine, but wouldn't it have been a good idea to lead with the bad guy bifurcation? Or at least slice off the gun-holding arm first? How the f*** did generic henchman number 14 manage to miss Julie from that distance and in that tiny corridor? I'm sorry, but she should be filled with more bullets than an NRA national convention.
I'm gonna mess you up real.
I choose to ignore the chances of something happening to me while I tell you this. Time is an illusion. Did this guy just have the flash drive in his pockets the whole time? He didn't put it in a lockbox or anything? Flash drives are always looking for reasons to leave your pockets, dude. This would have been lost if it wasn't stolen first.
I'd rather not kill him with the same wound. She'd wonder about that. I say we let the train run him over.
You can't just take any of the many guns in the stripper car and just fill Deadshot full of holes.
She knew there was a traitor somewhere.
Well, duh! Waller is working with a group of elite criminals. They're all traitors in some fashion. Why is this a surprise? This is like hiring a T-Rex as a croupier for your brand new casino, and then being shocked despite his great references when he can't shuffle for and eats the damn guests.
Please don't let her kill me, Floyd!
Julie's head bomb takes forever to explode so that we can see what a merciful dickhead Deadshot is.
Just saving on the dry cleaning.
I'm afraid that particular ship has not only sailed, but has since been sunk, and is currently the focus of a James Cameron expedition for his latest documentary. Hey, I'm not judging the man. Anything that keeps us 1 year further away from that Avatar sequel is fine by me. So, to summarize, 1 sin for Suicide Squad, 1 sin for Avatar, and 1 sin for Shyamalan's Last Airbender, for good measure.
I'm not some vestigial twin you can excise like a skin tag.
Can you remove vestigial twins that easily? Asking for an autosite.
Just show me again, Doc. One more time.
I mean, personally, I don't need to see it, but maybe an unseen audience needs to see it so that the movie can reveal that I'm Two-Face.
This is an operating theater, not some abattoir.
What does this guy mean by abattoir? How is that in any way apt to what's going on here? This guy sees metal claws and all he can think of is Fernando. Someone should take this pig to the slaughterhouse. Can you really label a folder prognosis terminal when you're treating a patient? It's like your prognosis is more important than their own name. They obviously returned this letter because the address on the front was unreadable.
It's your little girl, isn't it?
Is Captain Boomerang only proficient with objects shaped like boomerangs? I mean, how useful can this possibly be for a supervillain? What's he gonna do? Knock someone out, tie them to a giant boomerang, and fire them into space? Wait, he did? To the Flash? And it worked?
You heard of Killer Frost?
The Ice Queen?
Yeah. Crystal Frost, A tough girl from a tougher home.
Waller continues to share this backstory, despite Deadshot confirming that he had indeed heard of Killer Frost. Waller may as well have handed a big case file directly to the audience labeled Prognosis Exposition. I like how this flashback is told with dirt and scratches on the film, like someone was there with a film camera to catch Killer Frost's origin story. Only a matter of days before this girl starts freezing people, Ken Burns often said. The magazine says tabloid, but what the is it really? On the front cover, there's a picture of wheels of cheese or water decontamination facility or some
The last is Bronze Tiger, a.k.a. Ben Turner. If it weren't for his vow never to take an innocent life, I'd put him in charge.
Wait, why is a vow to never take an innocent life a bad thing? I know the Suicide Squad was set up specifically to do the shadier that a government organization like Argus can't get caught doing, but if the end goal is to ultimately protect the public, surely a vow like this not only makes Bronze Tiger their best case supervillain, but also the perfect choice for team leader. Do the Destructo chips only last one mission? If not, why is Deadshot going through this forced insertion when we've already seen him on a mission? Maybe these things are manufactured by Apple. You get all excited with your brand new Destructo chip, but it's obsolete within 12 months, which forces you to buy a new Destructo chip so you can carry on tick-tock booming your employees' heads.
He calls himself Steel Maxim.
Seriously?
Well, if that's not the pot of iced tea calling the kettle frosty, I don't know what is.
This one's off the grid. You'll be dealing with me directly, and only me.
Isn't the entire point of the Suicide Squad to be off the grid? Who else would they be dealing with? Reaffirming this point just risks the squad suspecting that the card is important specifically to Waller, a fact she probably should keep under wraps based on the 13 double crosses we've seen in the opening 18 minutes alone.
I told you before, Waller. I don't take orders from murderers.
Why did Waller even bother with this one guy who won't take orders because of principle, when there are surely many other tough guy criminals who could be on this mission? Waiting until the last minute to merge into your exit lane. This dude starts passing the Winnebago, but apparently stays neck and neck long enough so that the kid in the backseat can make faces at this lizard dude for nearly 10 seconds.
You're late, you waste of flesh.
Why are they always late?
Branson. The man they're tracking, he's been spotted there looking for work.
But Waller told us that
He's been hard to track down.
suggesting he's gone into hiding or is constantly on the move. Why is this dude so hard to find if he's just camping out in Branson looking for work? When Leon Schlesinger founded Warner Brothers Cartoons back in the 30s, we all remember that famous memo where he wrote, "One day we'll have a wisecracking bunny, a stuttering pig, and a coyote that endlessly chases a roadrunner, which will naturally one day lead to strippers in the Batman universe." Deadshot shows this picture of Steel Maxim and never pulls out the one with his tramp stamp, expecting people to recognize a guy wearing sunglasses. A tramp stamp is a dead giveaway, but sure, show people the picture least likely to refresh someone's memory.
We're moving to the next club. It's him.
Banshee. Oh, crap!
Boy, it sure is convenient that both these teams ended up at the same club at the perfect time to catch the thrusting pharaoh here. I mean, Deadshot was just about to move the team on to the next club, which means they weren't 100% positive they were going to find Captain Banana Hammock at this club at all. And since the other bad guys were working from the same information, isn't there a good chance that their search could have started at a totally different club as well? Steel Maxim's tramp stamp is clearly visible before he pulls off his shorts, but that's what it takes for any of these Suicide Squadrons to figure out it's who they're looking for. I don't understand why Zoom, aka Evil Flash, can't just zoom in here and take Steel Maxim himself without making a scene and getting into a huge fight with the Suicide Squad. So he's Deadshot right up until the point he starts shooting at someone the plot needs a lime, and then he's maybe shot. Got it. Bullets, kung fu, boomerangs, excitement.
What are you waiting for? Do I have to do everything?
Dude, you just got here? You've done nothing, much less everything. Oh, so you can make a character whose skin is bulletproof and resistant to pain, but he's still vulnerable when something hits his balls. Gotcha.
But I knew that she knew what was up. Oh, she knew. Oh, yeah. She knew.
Public helmet licking.
A shiny black card. It had writing on it. Get out of hell free.
Naboo must have had a real bout of writer's block when he made this thing. I mean, don't these insanely powerful and incredibly ancient artifacts usually have a riddle to solve or a cryptic incantation of some sort? Either way, I'm certain whatever it is probably wouldn't have been written in f***ing English. Also, what does a 10 billion year old cosmic entity need with a get out of hell free card? We shortly find out that the card only works if it is being held by the person when they die. If he does need it, why isn't it on him at all times?
And the only thing they took was the card.
So wait, do you mean that the redhead and her friend were at a bar hoping you'd show up, hit on her, and bring her back to your place so her friend could steal the get out of hell free card?
Calling yourself Steel Maxim and stripping, that's lying low to you?
Crystal Frost would be killer at CinemaSins.
You get all that?
I got it. He's telling the truth.
Why didn't Waller use this insanely powerful voice recognition to tell if someone's lying technology on Vertigo and Julie? I'd have all these sketchy assholes hooked up to it at all times. Also, here's a preemptive sin for the fact that I bet this game-changing tool will never be used, nay, even spoken of for the rest of the movie. And if I'm wrong, so help me Naboo, I will take this sin off, the previous sin, and 50 more! The Has Waller seriously left her prognosis terminal file out on her desk for all to see? I'd love to assume this was a mistake, but that's not how animation works. Someone had to deliberately draw that there. This case file is written in the language of drunk Mavis Beacon.
I'd bet my eye teeth that her daddy, Vandal Savage, is in on this.
Without exaggeration, that is the 18th villain, not character, villain, to appear in this movie. And we are only 36 minutes in. Instead of paying attention to what's going on, I'm spending all my damn time scrolling through character bios on Wikipedia, when I really should be scrolling through Twitter.
Anyway, you may be more familiar with his other nom de plume. Alexander the Great, Caesar, Genghis Khan.
Yes, but for me to accept that the immortal Vandal Savage was all three men, I'd have to ignore things like how Caesar and Alexander the Great died. And if you're saying he's just being reincarnated, then I don't know why you would need a get-out-of-hell-free card. Doesn't sound like the afterlife wants you. Harry Palms on Exit 69 is a mixed sexual metaphor that I'm not sure I can get behind, although I'm sure the residents who live off Exit 69 get behind all the time.
Beats me. I always thought this was hell, Captain Kangaroo.
That's racist. Why is this making me horny? Why is this making me horny? And why is this making me horny? In case you confused it with Denver, Mississippi. Wow, well, we can't show you this. They actually put some nudity in this movie. I had to rewind it and pause it about 34 times to be totally sure, but even though I just saw some animated breasts and nethers, I'm still thinking about this scene. Hell yeah, Deadshot, make that dirty gun clean. Hallelujah! Yes, it's a sin that this feckless security guard is clearly watching porn instead of security guarding. But that's kind of the point here. The real sin is that he's apparently stupid enough to leave the monitor facing the giant glass window so that any passers-by can witness his disinterested debauchery. How the are we supposed to root for anyone in this movie? Yes, he was a lousy security guard, but he didn't deserve to be frozen and decapitated. Are we supposed to be okay with this? Or just spend the movie hoping our protagonists fail?
Frost, how about a few icy cuffs for the ladies?
Ice cuffs? God damn it. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Could Waller not have provided them with actual cuffs? She runs a prison, after all.
Balls.
These guys take dead aim at the people in this penthouse, and somehow their first bullets hit the ground several feet away from all the people they're shooting at. I can only assume that the individual in charge of animating Copperhead chose this exact moment to take their lunch break. I mean, the dude is just standing there, hoping the stormtrooper gods will guide these bullets in his favor. Come on, man, you found the card, and yet you didn't put it in your pocket when you saw that giant jet show up? Harley Quinn survives it. Oh, Captain Boomerang survives it. Oh, Copperhead survives it. It. They all survived this.
We can't get a clean shot.
The woman is expendable.
One was knockout, not expendable. These guys certainly didn't seem to give a who was expendable when they arrived and immediately opened fire on everyone. Rumor has it they call her Scandal Savage because of the ongoing copyright drama between herself and you-know-who from the you-know-what man. Deadshot mows down everybody in sight while sliding to get the card, and I'm wondering why he couldn't have done all that killing sooner.
Right now, we're just playing poker, and I've got the wild card.
Not to be a poker nerd here, but a wild card is usually just a card that can be used as any other card in the deck. Since this is already the most powerful card in existence, I think it's probably fine the way it is. Giving the card over makes none of the sense. Yes, Savage will probably still open fire even if Deadshot keeps the card, but did he really think their chances of survival in that tiny metal box would increase without the card? Why does shooting the up-down buttons cause the elevator to stop moving? Also, they're on the top floor, so why did they put an up button here anyway? Why are the bullets piercing the elevator doors now? They were just denting them a minute ago. I can see a few bullets making it through the door, but not all of them. Oh, now someone shoots a rocket launcher. You had that at the ready and you just waited because, after all, this was supposed to be such a subtle mission. But now it's desperate.
Trust me, that one's out of order.
Wanna Savage's plane flies just low enough so that a person with superpowers can jump up from a building and stick a tracker on him. Would you fly this low for any reason?
His ship was as big as a 747. Your satellites must have picked him up.
Savage uses a cloaking device.
A cloaking device that leaves the ship visible to the naked eye? Also, even if the cloaking device is referring to mere radar, why does he fly low enough visibly just above the tall buildings in a city if cloaking is so important? Oh, don't mind me. I'm just opening a window into a teenage girl's dorm room, which are always unlocked and ready to open from the outside.
She says she's like you, but she kind of hates you too. I asked my therapist about it, but he was already asleep.
You asked your therapist about your roommate's dad?
They tried to kill me, but that's easier said than done. So they went after my fiancée.
And then Bronze Tiger sees some League of Assassins dude climbing out of a window after killing his fiancée. He's got a gun and can kill Bronze Tiger right now, but decides to jump out the window instead. So maybe it's not as hard as he's saying? They just don't do it because of the story? And if this is his fiancée, why didn't he just wait until Bronze Tiger got home and be like, surprise, tit face, and blow him away? Also, the movie has time for what feels like its 17,000th tragic backstory, and we are barely halfway through the film. Holy Deadshot and Bronze Tiger fight, and we can see the open window in the background, and they fight down 2 flights of stairs, where they just happen to find yet another level where the window is open, probably because there's some other comic book hero looking for their kid, and they ran out to the fire escape. So now they're, what, cool? Jesus, Bronze Tiger lost his inexplicable murder boner quicker than I lost my actual boner at my last spring break at college. Listen, in my defense, I had a lot to drink, and it's not like I was disappointing anyone other than myself, literally.
You don't know how close you came to an out-of-body experience.
Like I tried to set off the bomb in your head, but my little remote kept beeping plot armor, plot armor. I really do need to change the batteries in this thing.
We'll take a rest stop here and reconvene at 1700 hours. 5 o'clock.
This movie, man, there's zero reason to write Harley Quinn as being this stupid. Yes, she is always a chaotic element that makes questionable and often impulsive choices, but all this movie does is reduce her to a one-lining, pizza-loving murder bimbo. I'm calling Margot Robbie right now to kick this film's ass.
I bet she pays icicles.
That's Elsist. What the She's not dead? I mean, that was a pretty definitive gunshot from Vandal, and Scandal didn't even attempt to stop the bleeding. How is any character death, be they good or evil, supposed to hold any weight when apparently all they actually needed was some bandages and a blood transfusion? Well, it's possible there's a tracker on the Winnebago. I still don't believe Banshee or any of the Zoom team could have gotten anywhere near this Stucky's parody without the Suicide Squad seeing them. I mean, I guess they could have gotten here before, but, that's predicting the future. Also, why did they think the women's restroom was going to be the best place to kidnap anybody? What if Harley went in with Killer Frost? That means it would have been 2 against 1. What if they started making out? What if Banshee was like, room for one more, and then it was a threesome? You really need to think of these possibilities if you want to write movies. Why go in one at a time? Yeah, Banshee pulled it off, but only because Killer Frost fell and hit her head in the basin. What the f*** was Blockbuster doing? These assholes get a surprise attack in a women's bathroom, and it somehow works, but then they decided to park the van so far away that any asshole could see them carrying Killer Frost. And this time, that asshole just happens to be Deadshot, the man who does not eat or pee.
They got Frost.
What?
I'm going after them.
I clearly don't need the help to fight those guys, even though I did need it in the strip club a few scenes ago. And this shitty Winnebago's got claws, baby. It'll go from 0 to 60 in a matter of minutes. You are here to save Killer Frost, right? Just because it's the bad guy's van doesn't mean you can't hit her with all those bullets. Also, shoot the goddamn tires, man! This is the no-shittiest no shit that has ever no-shitted. The latest season of Breaking Bad has gone off the f***ing rails.
You sure you got the right address?
Of course she is. Look, it's right there. Frost is at Blue Rectangle Road, just off slightly shorter Blue Rectangle Lane, just past the longer Blue Block intersection. If you get to the green bar, you've gone too far.
She's done.
Why does Waller have this huge murder boner for Killer Frost when her computer tells her that Frost is in the house and the Suicide Squad claims they found her? She didn't even kill Deadshot when the guy straight up walked off the job a minute ago. Jesus Christ, how did Copperhead get out of the house in time? He was in the basement when he discovered the bomb, which was a second or two away from exploding when he was down there. I know he's like a snake, but how does that translate into fast enough to get out before a bomb goes off?
I don't think you look so good.
Judging people on their looks after a bombing.
This canyon shortcut will get you to Savage ahead of Zoom.
There's never been an instance in the history of driving where a canyon shortcut saves any time. But anyway, how do you know that Zoom didn't take this exact shortcut? How do you even know when he left or how fast he's moving?
Let's not give each other hand jobs just yet.
Celebratory hand jobs? If we're having a good time, I don't want a stranger trying to please my junk and manual. They won't know what to do. Besides, this sounds an awful lot like you're trying to tap into Pulp Fiction screenplay and you change the sex act to avoid plagiarism.
Children. I must have sired 100,000.
Nick Cannon.
Why do you even need it? You're supposed to live for bloody ever.
I'm immortal, not invulnerable.
If you were Julius Caesar or Alexander the Great or even Genghis Khan, you've disproven this already.
I never saw it coming, but I felt it.
Damn it, this movie has squeezed in more character backstories and exposition into 80 minutes than the Snyder Cut did in 4 hours. No, that's not a compliment.
And in that moment, that very infinitesimal split second before death, I drew the Speed Force into me with every ounce of willpower I had left. I literally bought time.
Oh. Let's talk about the villain's plan. No, not Vandal Savage. No, not Amanda Waller. No, not Deadshot either. Damn it, people. Zoom. Zoom's evil plan. Ah, screw it. They're all stupid plans. 18 sins, one per bad guy. What a tard of a convenience. Every time someone gets the card, they fail to secure it. Put it in your cleavage, Killer Frost! Your cleavage! We get it. Waller likes nothing more than popping heads, but considering the single-use nature of the Get Out of Hell card, you'd think she would keep it in her pants, or at least until she's got eyes on the prize. At this point, she hasn't got a clue where it is or who might be holding it. Also, Waller sets Copperhead's bomb off, exploding both he and Killer Frost at the same time. But that's never how these bombs have worked in this movie. If they worked this way, then Vertigo's bomb should have taken Julie out with him earlier. Your cleavage, Killer Frost! I guess her cleavage is gone now. Cleavage. Wasn't the point of this ice gag to stop Harley Quinn from talking? What changed that suddenly allows a blah to get through?
Son of a bitch!
What was stopping Deadshot from doing this? Oh, I don't know, immediately. Or is screaming son of a bitch how he usually breaks the ice? I'll leave.
Hey, whoa, hey!
Two dead, Waller.
I can see why you would think that. I mean, that was an incredibly dangerous way to break Harley Quinn and Captain Boomerang out of the ice, but I think he meant Killer Frost and Copperback. Oh look, another double cross. How will I ever contain my shock and... The idea that this guy is still alive is titanium levels of bullshit. Oh, and I guess if Zoom is still alive, might as well bring Bronze Tiger back at just the right moment, too. We're giving out wings! How are you acting in any way normal after the shit you told Deadshot a minute ago? If you've been operating in a fog and unreal and warped, how are you even capable of standing here talking like this? Shouldn't we see more glitches in your character than I'm not as fast as I used to be?
I promise you, Deadshot, I'm good for one last hit of speed.
Just a minute ago, you said...
I'm running on fumes now, but I've got just enough gas left for this.
Since Bronze Tiger's died twice in this movie, couldn't you have let Harley Quinn do something for once? Bronze Tiger finally dies once, and there isn't anybody left to stall or kill.
It feels cold.
It's a cold world.
Christian Slater is right, but you know what would have been a better excuse? It was in Killer Frost's cleavage! Father and daughter die in tragic hit and run as they reportedly attempted to reconcile their differences in the middle of a road downtown. More on that after these messages.
Get a good look, Costanza?